Have you ever wondered why the tortoise's shell is cracked? This story reveals the secret, and it all began on a bright market morning in a Yoruba village. The sun rose gently over the village of Oke-Aro. Traders carried baskets of yam, peppers, and cloth dyed in deep blue patterns. Children ran around the market square, laughing as drums thumped softly in the distance. In the middle of the lively market walked Tunde the tortoise, known by everyone as the clever one, clever enough to get whatever he wanted, as long as no one caught him. His smooth, shiny shell gleamed like polished stone, and he walked with a slow but confident sway. For days, Tunde had watched the villagers prepare for the great feast. Goats were tied under trees, palm wine jars were covered, and mountains of food grew behind every compound. The feast was meant for all the animals, if they brought their own share of food. But Tunde wanted the feast without doing any work. As he moved through the market that morning, he saw a group of birds arranging grains into baskets. Their leader, Seyi the parrot, flapped her bright wings and called out, "Remember, everyone must fly to the sky feast tomorrow. The king of the sky has invited us." Tunde's eyes widened. A feast in the sky must surely have the best meals, he thought. Fresh fruits, golden soups, soft yam pounded until it melted like butter. And if only birds were invited, there was only one problem. He could not fly. He cleared his throat and walked up to the birds. "Good friends," he said with a gentle smile. "You all know how slow I am. I cannot gather as much food as you can, but please let me follow you to the feast." Seyi looked at him kindly. "If you can bring your own share of food, Tunde, then you may come." Tunde nodded quickly, smiling even wider. "I will bring mine." He did not bring anything. The next day, the birds gathered to fly. Each carried a small basket of food tied gently to their feathers. Tunde had nothing. Instead, he came with a plan. He told the birds, "Friends, before we go, please give me new names to call you. The king of the sky will ask us our group name. Let us all use one name today." "What should we use?" Seyi asked. Tunde grinned. "Let us call ourselves All of Us." The birds agreed. Then Tunde asked each of them to give him a feather. He said, "I am slow. If I try to climb a tree alone, I may fall. But if I have some of your feathers, I can fly with you." The birds felt sorry for him. One by one, they plucked a feather and handed it to him. Soon Tunde had enough to make a small pair of wings. He flapped them until the wind lifted him up, and he rose beside the flock. They flew and flew, passing clouds, until they arrived in the Sky Kingdom, a beautiful land of floating stones, golden trees, and long tables filled with food that glowed softly under the sun. The Sky King welcomed them warmly. "Welcome, visitors. I prepared this feast for all of us. Please enjoy." When Tunde heard "all of us," he stepped forward. "Your Majesty," he said quickly, "I am all of us. The food belongs to me." The birds gasped. Seyi's wings dropped. Tunde rushed to the tables and began to eat faster than anyone had seen before. Yam disappeared, soups vanished, fruits melted in his mouth. He ate until his shell stretched and bulged. The birds stood in quiet disappointment. None of them had brought extra food. Tunde had tricked them. When it was time to return home, Sei said, "Let us go." But she looked at Tunde and turned away. They flew into the sky again. The wind blew harder than before. As they reached above the village, Sei called out, "We cannot carry Tunde home. His trick caused us hunger today." The birds gently shook their feathers free from his wings. Tunde felt the air slide away beneath him. He fell. Down, down, down. He tried to flap the borrowed feathers, but they slipped from his shell and floated away. He shouted for help, but the wind answered with silence. The ground rushed up, and Tunde landed with a heavy thud. His shell shattered into pieces, not broken in a harmful way, but cracked in sharp, uneven lines across his back. When the villagers found him, he was sitting weakly on the ground, holding his shell together with trembling hands. The village healer placed him on a mat and carefully fitted the pieces back. They stuck together, but never perfectly again. From that day on, Tunde's shell stayed cracked, marked forever by his own greed. When Sei and the birds returned, Sei spoke gently. "Tunde, cleverness without kindness brings trouble. May this mark remind you to walk in honesty." Tunde bowed his head. "I have learned. Truly, I have learned." And so, in every village, whenever someone sees the cracked shell of a tortoise, they remember the day Tunde tried to take everything for himself and ended up learning the importance of humility. If you enjoyed this story, remember, greed may promise sweetness, but it always leaves a mark. Follow Ancestral Folktales for more stories that keep our African wisdom alive.